Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and welcome to Arma 3. It's been quite some time since I've played any Arma 3 on my channel at all. You guys knew the reason for that. It never ran right. I didn't have the proper gear, but now I do. That glorious 4770K making Arma 3 buttery smooth, and I finally want to hop back into Arma. I want to get a feeling for it. I never actually really got to enjoy the game or play it, and Arma has always been something that I've wanted to just experience because of the insane amount of content, user-created content, that the game offers. I mean, the amount of time you can spend with Arma is essentially endless. So that's how we're going to kick it off. I've downloaded a couple single-player and multiplayer missions that I may be looking into playing with some members in the organization as well, multiplayer-wise. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with a Sniper Alley one. It's supposed to be very simple, nothing really fancy, and essentially we're a sniper going to clean out other snipers. I've started to play it a little bit just to get an idea of what the layout was like, and I think it's going to be a great mission to sort of kick off Arma 3 and start to get the hang of the game and understand how the AI functions and all those things. I played plenty of Arma 2, but from what I can understand, Arma 3 is quite a bit different. So let's go ahead and restart this mission. Now I'm going to try and talk through the entire intro because they're going to play Jimi Hendrix, and if I don't, there's a good chance that that Jimi Hendrix song will be heard by the mystical AI people on YouTube, and they will then attempt to take down my video. So let's talk about the infiltration and the extraction point quickly while looking at the map. We're going to be infiltrating over here where it says gear. We have target Alpha, target Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, and then we have our extraction area. So you can see a very simply designed mission. They're essentially in a line. The extraction point is right at the end of target Echo. These are all snipers that we're going to be taking out. And if we go ahead and we look at our briefing here, we can see our tasks and we can see the individual separate, targets, and they give us a little bit of information. So let's take a look at target Alpha because that's the only one we're really going to focus on for this video. Target Alpha has been causing havoc amongst our supply routes. The target probably has been holding up in the stadium area. So this is an old stadium right here. You can see we have a crane, which is probably going to be priority number 1 once we get a location on that to see if we actually have a target there. We also have some buildings, some low rubble. He's most likely going to be there. That's the high point. There's a good chance he could be on the hill here. But considering this is a very simply designed mission, it's not supposed to be difficult. We're going to go ahead and go with the crane first. Let's go ahead and actually boot into the mission now. You can already hear the Hendrix playing. And while I do love some Hendrix, it's not worth having the video taken down for. So let's go ahead and start yapping away. Now, one of the great things about Arma 3, the reason that I've always wanted to become involved in Arma as a whole, whether it be Arma 2, Arma 3, I've spent a lot of time playing Arma 2 Wasteland despite it not running very well on my computer at all, just because the tactical experiences you could have, even in a Wasteland with the right people, made the game so much fun. It's kind of tainted just about every other first-person shooter for me. Even shooters that aren't even in the same genre, I find it very difficult to play Battlefield after experiencing what Arma 2 had to offer. Just this really epic, player-driven, experiences that you can have in the multiplayer, and I think that's why everyone was so addicted to Wasteland for, a long period of time. Not always have these big communities that we can get involved in to play Arma. So those, those moments in Wasteland, kind of filled that void of just this really awesome player-generated, moments and content. And Arma 3 has plenty of that left to offer, so I'm looking forward to playing the game very much. I also wanted to test it out, see how it ran, actually doing a mission, doing some commentary for it, and see what you guys think of it. So let me know what you think of Arma in the comment section below, and whether or not you'd be excited to see more of it here on the channel. Alrighty. So we have our little drop in here. We're pretty much kitted out as far as I can tell. We're not going to be playing in third person, but we have a upper Hagili suit on. We have our Lynx rifle, I believe, we're kitted out with. Let's take a look at our inventory, see what they've actually given us. So we have we actually have the M320 LOR. We could actually swap it out for the GM8 Lynx if we wanted to, but I don't think there's a reason to carry around a 12.7mm sniper rifle. So we're going to not do that. We have I think we might actually swap this for the 45. And I think that's it. We really don't need too much else, more, to be honest. I mean, we're sniping. We should be just fine. Let's take a look at the map, get an idea of where we actually are. So here we are in the gear location. Here is our main target over at Alpha. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see this is the crane here, this gray box right here. That is essentially where the crane is going to be located. We have the stadium seats. We have the roadside. This is most likely where he's picking off on our supply runs, possibly along this route as well. We also have a very nice hill right here, which is, I think, we're going to, let's see what we have on the map here. I think we're going to drive down roughly through here, and I believe we should be able to dump the ATV about halfway and then we'll trek our way to the top of the hill and see if we can't get eyes on target. Again, I think this is going to be a very easy mission, very easy sniper cleanup, I guess you could say, for this first one here, but it's a good way to get into the game, to start to understand some of the ballistics. I really have no experience with this. I haven't been able to play Arma, so it's going to take a little bit for me to learn all of this. It's not something that happens overnight, but let's go ahead and drive over to the peak of the hill here and get a better idea of what we actually have as we move down towards our target. So if we take a look, there's the hill, there's actually the crane. If we wanted to, we could probably get eyes on our target if he was there right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to head down to that little shack there. We're going to make that our sort of recon point. We're going to park the ATV there so we'll be able to return to it later on to move to the rest of our objectives, and we're going to crawl our way up the top of that hill. Not crawl, but slowly move our way up the top of the hill, ensuring that we don't have any targets on the left or right side of us. I do believe it is just one sniper from the intel. I don't think the game's going to throw a curveball. From what I was able to read in the mission briefing for the actual game over on the Steam Workshop, very simple mission, which is why I picked it to start. We could have done the other one, which is the nighttime scout infiltration, but I've already started to mess with that one, and it's very difficult, so I'm going to save it for a little bit later. Difficulty-wise, I'm usually always playing on veteran. For whatever reason, my first person isn't locked. It usually is. I might have disabled that at one point. Let's go ahead and get out, though. So we have no, real, just everything's kind of clean and crisp. I've always liked playing on veteran for that reason. Also, you get to have really, crazy AI that just likes to shoot you from like 3 miles away with a pistol, but yeah, that's fun. Alright, let's pull out the rangefinder here and just get a rough idea of what we have going on. So we're looking at the center of that field is about 547. The top of the hill we're looking at about 130. So we're roughly going to have like a 200 to 300 meter shot, depending on where we actually end up on that hill and where our target actually is. So very easy shot. We won't need to zero anything. It should just be a simple point and shoot execution at that point. So let's go ahead and start making our way up the hill here. We're just going to kind of go for a rush up the top of the hill here. And I'm going to push our way out to the right a little bit. Try and get a line of sight on the right side of the hill. Just to ensure that we don't have him sitting on on the hill up here anywhere. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to clear the whole top of this hill, but we're just going to clear the right side, and then we're going to be really quiet about sneaking up to the top so we can check that crane. If he's not on the crane, then we'll start to clear the rest of the hill. Might actually pull out my pistol at that point, because we're a little bit too close to engage with a sniper rifle if he is actually up on this hill. But I'm betting, if the mission was designed to be simple, that he is sitting on the crane. On one of the levels of the crane. So I guess we'll find out, won't we? Yeah, man, I know crawling up a hill's gotta be pretty damn hard working. Especially in gear like this with this huge rifle. Ourselves in a sit position for a second and take a look around. So we haven't peeked the hill just yet. Let's take a look at our map quickly. Okay, so we do have a bit of rock cover up here. This is going to be a perfect spot to get line of sight on that field, and to get line of sight on the crane, more specifically. there's the crane. And there's our target. Man, he's, I think he needs to go back to sniper school, if we're honest here. It's not really exactly what I would call a well-planned position, but hey, you know what? If that's what it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be. I think we should actually be able to make the shot from here. I just don't want to shoot through brush like that. That's not really a... There we go. That's a bit cleaner. Just for the sake of it, we're gonna range it. He has no idea that we're here. So I imagine the AI has been scaled for this mission because he's a bit daft. So not even 200. Actually, I'm sorry, 300. Man, looking at the wrong place. Okay, so yeah, 296. 296, 296. So we'll set it to 300 meters. Get ourselves in a nice seated position here. And take the shot. Target eliminated. So as you can see, guys, like I said, it's supposed to be very simplistic missions initially, or a very simplistic mission in general, actually, so I'm fine with that. I'll see if we can actually get a little bit of a confirmation on the kill, just for fun. He's definitely dead. He's also using a... I think he's using the Lynx, actually. Yeah, he does have a Lynx. I guess he's been wreaking havoc on the convoys, so... We took him out, though. That's all that matters. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. We're going to go ahead and we'll finish up the next 4 targets in a separate video. We might actually split them apart. I don't really know how much longer it's going to take, but I think this is a great way to sort of introduce ourselves to Arma, to introduce myself to Arma 3. And from there, we can start doing a little bit more of the complex single-player missions. There's quite a few scouting-type missions and recon missions that I think are very, very interesting. I'm a huge fan of the nighttime infiltration, because they're some of the most difficult things to actually accomplish in Arma because of the AI being so ridiculous at times. So I'm actually looking forward to doing those, but I think this is going to be a good training exercise, and also is a good way to get a feel for the game, the ballistics, start to understand the ranging and things of that nature, because I can guarantee that some of the missions moving forward won't always give us the benefit of having a rangefinder, and things are going to become a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to have to do some reading, start to learn how to read the map a little bit better. I used to know how to do all this for Arma 2, and it's been a very long time since I took an Arma game seriously, so I think it's going to be fun. Let me know what you think of Arma, whether or not you would like to see it in the list of weekly games. You know, I'm not planning on releasing anything else. You'll still be seeing Titanfall when it comes out. We'll still be seeing DayZ, Star Citizen, Killer Instinct, but I have more than enough time in the week to add another video to another game to my group of videos, and I think Arma 3 would make the perfect addition to an already awesome roster of games that I have running on the channel. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.